Good afternoon. It's Bob Vaughan again with Freedom Now Community. I'm real excited to be here. We're going to try another sales tip today. Let's talk about fear. When we're born, babies are born with two fears. Fear of falling and fear of loud noises. Now let me ask you something. As you're sitting there watching this, how many fears do you have now? I think I've accumulated somewhere around, I don't know, 3 or 4 million fears, something like that. I could name, I'm really afraid of snakes. And if I get down under a house, I'm scared to death of rats. Don't particularly like tornadoes. Lots of things like that. And you've got all yours. And let me tell you a quick story. When I got in the real estate business and started my sales career, read a book and read this book and that book and listened to tapes. And I went down and watched a video, or at that time it was a movie, at the Board of Realtors. Wasn't a video. Didn't have videos when I started in the real estate business. My kids say we didn't have TV when I started in the real estate business. But at any rate, I went down and watched the movie. And it was about a lady who was a reporter and also a motivational speaker. And she wanted to overcome her fears. And that was part of a book she was going to write. So we watched the video, and the video went like this. She decided her two most difficult fears were heights and water. She couldn't swim. So she decided to skydive into the Pacific Ocean to overcome her fears. Because her theory of this book was going to be, you got to face your fears. Well, I thought that was all sort of crazy. But you watch the movie, it takes you through the whole secret events. And you watch what she did, and all the emotion would show up. I mean, she'd cry and she'd get all upset. And in the practice, she had to jump off a ladder when she was learning how to skydive and all that sort of thing. So the day it came, she's up in the plane and she's diving into the ocean, and she did it. And of course, she's got to hope people down there are going to rescue her, which they did. So and then I got the book. That was cool. So there is a book, and you can get it. It's Pack Your Own Chute is the name of the book. So I got the book and read it, and I decided my new sales career, I was going to face my fears, and my number one, number two would be heights and public speaking. So I jumped out of an airplane, and it was an interesting experience. If you've never done that, I went out to do it, and I was about, I guess I was about 30 years old. Maybe late 20s, and when I got out there to do this, I was with a group of other first-timers, and they're all of them, there was 4 of them, were 18 to 19-year-old girls. So we went up on that airplane the first time, and we went up, and the guy told us, you don't have to jump if you don't want to. Well, I didn't want to, but I did, because those girls jumped. Now, if those girls jumped, I have to jump. But I want to tell you something. I found out I wasn't afraid of heights. I was afraid of edges. Because when you stand on the edge of a wing at 5,000 feet, the edge scared me, not the height. Okay. Well, anyway, I jumped out of this silly airplane into a cornfield, and I got dragged through the cornfield, and it was the whole story sort of funny. But at any rate, I had faced my fear, and I jumped out of a doggone airplane. Most people that I was associated with thought I was nuts. When I came back to my office, nobody would go out and watch it because I figured it would be disasters. They didn't want to see it. So anyway, I came back to my office, and the owner of the real estate company said, now let me get straight. You jumped out of a perfectly good airplane into a cornfield. I said, yeah, that's what I did. But let me tell you what the results of that were. I jumped again, and then within, I guess, 30 to 45 days, I owned an airplane. Couldn't fly it. When I bought it from the guy, I said, now you got to teach me how to fly it. And for years, I had an airplane, and I flew, and that sort of thing. So the next thing was speaking. I had to learn how to public speak. Well, I had a real estate. At that time, I was the sales manager of a real estate company. And I used to run my sales meetings sitting down because I was too afraid to stand up. Because I was so afraid of public speaking, I wouldn't lead you in silent prayer. Hope that one didn't go over your head. Anyway, so what I did was I started standing up more and more, and then I got involved in the Board of Realtors, and I had to be a committee man and leader, and so I stood up when I ran those, and the next thing I know, I read more about it, I did more, and then I was stand up speaking. And then what happened was I loved it. So I faced 2 fears, ended up buying an airplane, and ended up becoming a public speaker and loving every minute of it. And I think it was about 7 or 8 years ago, I was on stage giving a speech at the MGM Grand in front of 10,000 people. Now that's going from afraid to run a sales meeting all the way to standing in front of 10,000 people. I only tell you that because when we're going to start talking about prospecting and talk about running your business, you're going to have some fears. And you can't run from the fears. What you have to do is you have to learn to overcome them. So what I'm going to do is give you some examples, and I'm going to move on into prospecting. And as we do this, you're going to be a little bit uncomfortable. And that's okay. Because if you stay comfortable and keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you got. And if you don't like what you got, you're going to have to move. As simple as that. Now, the challenge with your fears, it's in your subconscious. You got your conscious mind, your subconscious mind. Your conscious mind can think of one thing at a time. Just like the mouse on your computer can only click on one thing at a time. However, your hard drive is extremely huge. Like my subconscious mind, we're here at Tom's house today. It's a very large house, but my subconscious is bigger than this house. It's probably as big as this block. Why is it? It's because I put so much in there. I have loaded it myself with all of my thoughts, all of my reactions to things. Why do I react to some things and you would react to them differently? It's because I've taught myself to do that. Let me give you an example of the subconscious mind. I want you to stand there right now and fold your arms like I'm folding my arms. I'm looking at somebody right now behind the camera who's got their arms folded. Okay, I want you to look down and see which arm you have on top. You got that done, Tom? Get your arms on top. Okay, everybody's got their arms on top. All right, now put your arms down to your side. Remember which one was on top? Now fold them the other way differently. Put the other one on top. You can't do it. It's tough, isn't it?
Weird.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Okay. All right, put your hands together like this. Just clap your hands together with your fingers like this. See which forefinger's on top. Okay, put your hands down and put them back together with the other forefinger on top. Now, the first time you did it, when I just told you to do this, you just did it because everybody just does it. It's not a problem, is it? You just, boom, it's there. But when you had to do it the other way, you had to use your conscious mind to do the other one. The first one was your subconscious mind. When you did this, it was your subconscious mind. When you did it again, it was your conscious mind. So once we're thinking, when I drove over here today to Tom's house, I can't tell you how many times I put on the directional signal. But I'm sure I put it on quite a bit. But I didn't do it with my conscious mind. I come up, I just do it. How many things do we do what we call habit? Habit your subconscious mind. So, when we get into a sales situation and we run into fear, where did we get the fear? Why am I no longer afraid to public speak, and the majority of you people looking at me today are afraid to public speak or have a fear of it? Not everybody, but a very large percentage. Do you know that's the number one fear among males? Public speaking. It's not a surprise that it's not the number one with females. They're better at talking than we are anyway. Number one fear for females is the death of a child. That's amazing, isn't it? Well, how did we do that? We programmed ourselves to do that. I've got somebody that wants to lose weight, and they say to me, they were trying to lose weight, and they were unable to lose weight. And I said, how are you doing it? And they said, well, I've just kept telling myself that I want to lose 20 pounds. And I said, there's your mistake right there, because your subconscious mind can't make decisions. Never makes decisions. Your conscious mind makes decisions. So if you want to lose 20 pounds and you now weigh 180 pounds, what you have to tell your subconscious is, I want to weigh 160 pounds. He understands that. So every time you sit down and you weigh 180 and somebody offers you ice cream, your subconscious says, no, that's not going to work. It's going the wrong way. You're not going to lose 20 pounds. What I'm going to do now is wrap this up for the moment. That's our start of our prospecting. We're going to follow that up soon with a follow-up to that. I hope you got something out of that and you understand what fears are, and we'll follow more with our subconscious mind. Have a terrific day.